Welcome to the Point of Difference Rugby League podcast. I'm your host, Dave, and today we're going back in the day with one of the great North Sydney Bears players. Also had a stint with the Northern Eagles to round off the old career. It's the one and only Josh Stewart. How are you, man?
I'm good, thanks, Dave. I'm always good. I'm a firm believer in positive thinking, so no matter how good I'm feeling, I'm feeling great. So it's all good.
Oh, bad man. I see you down at the pub having a couple of beers while we do the podcast. How good's that?
Yeah, exactly. So I just did 2 ton of pebbles at home with a mate of mine who used to play with Halifax, Dickie Smith. So he come and play with the Bears one year, and he lives in my granny flat now. So I said, "We'll get rid of this 2 ton and we'll go down the pub and I'll buy you a beer." So that's why I'm down here.
Not bad at all. So, speaking of the old North Sydney Bears, they had a bit of a shot at getting back in the NRL recently, but obviously it went to the PNG bid. So, what were your thoughts on the whole North Sydney Bears merging with Perth to potentially come back into the NRL?
Yeah, look, it's all the news I'm getting is pretty positive about the Bears coming back in. Um, Daniel Dixon's a good mate of mine who's now the chairman and the leading force or driving force for the Bears coming back in. Um, he's had separate meetings with Peter V'landys and the Western Bears franchise that tried to come in and said, V'landys asked him, "What are you willing to pay?" And they just adopted what the Redcliffe Dolphins said. We're not going to pay nothing for a license fee. So um, Redcliffe's been around for hundreds of years, so over 100 years. They were founding club in the Brisbane competition, and they got away with it. So we adopted that proposition, and it didn't turn out because V'landys is a smart man. He knows that the Western Australian government's got a shitload of money. So he said, no, he's got to pay a fee. So that's the sticking point.
Okay.
Look, they'll come up with the money without a shadow of a doubt. We've got 2 of the wealthiest people in the world, not only Australia, that live in WA, and that's Twiggy Forrest and Gina Reinhardt. So, like, it's all about the mining money and all the rest of it. If the government props up some money, it'll be a revolution over there. It'll be unreal.
Awesome. Like, I hope they get back in, mate. I miss both clubs actually, North Sydney and the Western Reds. It'd be pretty cool to have them both in there, like as a merged identity. But what do you think? Obviously, you played for Northern Eagles at the end of your career, so that didn't go so well as a merger. Do you think it'll be all right with the Perth side of things?
Yeah, look, I was at Manly. I was a Manly junior. I played with Narrabeen Sharks, Christian Brothers, those sort of local teams around the. I grew up at Narrabeen, and the Northern Eagles should have suited me right down to the ground, but I didn't get on too well with the coach. He was a very different sort of person, Peter Sharp, and it ended up being a torment me. The last 2 years of my football professional career was tormenting. It done my head in. So I was happy to retire, even though I was only 29. I was happy to retire and get out of the professional side of it. I went back and played with a local team called Belrose,
Yep.
and I went back and realised why I fell in love with the game in the first place. And I played some really, really good football up there at Belrose. It was a semi-professional comp. We won I was there for 3 years. We won 2 of the 3 years. We won the comp, and we were minor premiers the third year. So, like, I took a lot of responsibility. Like, I went back to football for the reason why I played for it in the first place, was to have fun with your mates, and
Yeah.
it makes a massive difference in life.
Yeah.
It makes a massive difference the way you play the game. So I really enjoyed those 3 years.
Awesome, man. It's kind of interesting, eh? Because you would have come from an era where you're right on the tail end of semi-professional, not really professional. Then it turned professional, and you're kind of right
Right.
in the middle of it. So you've kind of sort of gone up and then back down, and gone back to why you played as a kid, which is a great segue into where did the whole journey start for you? What was life like for you as a young fella, and where did that footy journey start?
Yeah, so my old man played for the Newtown Jets. He played 4 first grade games for the Newtown Jets. My brother was a footballer. He played a few games for Manly, and in the 21s. But he was a really good defensive player, and but just never grew. He's only 85 kilo.
Okay.
I got the thighs, and all I ever wanted to do was please my father. And my father was also Ivan Cleary's grandfather, and he had a lot to do with Ivan Cleary with him going into what he is now. And he just had one of those attitudes where it was football, football, football. Had I listened to me dad, I probably would have been a bit better than what I was. But I think him being the grandfather, he never got to see Nathan play first grade. He passed away when he was 73 in 2015. So he didn't get to see Nathan make his debut, even though he made that, I think he debuted that year or the year after. So that's the only thing that I regret about my dad not seeing. But Dad was a big driving force. We've got a footballing family. I don't know if you're aware, Dave. One of my sisters married Jason Deef, who played for the Canberra Raiders, the Cowboys, the Warriors, and South.
Yep.
My sister Rebecca married Ivan. And one of my other sisters, Monique, she married Paul Franks, which is Phil Franks' son, who also played the third grade that at Manly. So it's a big footballing family. I'm one of 6 kids. I'm very fortunate to have a really strong family life around me, and everyone that comes into our family, we're very welcoming. We love people. My sister still does it now. Rebecca, she's got that Penrith place out there humming because it's about the family life, like looking after people, having social events, whether it be drinking or whatever, but it's always social and it's very beneficial for outside of football.
Yeah,
I think Ivan talks about it a bit, but he's one of 3 kids. Ivan, everyone thinks that because we got Ukrainian descent, and I think it's Ivan's side. No, it's not. It's my mother. My mother's Ukrainian. She was a POW. She came over when she was 4-year-old. She came over on one of those boats, one of the first boats.
Yeah.
And so she was the only child and lived at Bass Hill, and she met my father at the Winfield butcher shop where my dad was working as a butcher. So a bit of history,
Crazy times. And then your Jet Cleary got a run for the Warriors in the trial last night as well. So you'd be another nephew there you could be proud of. Hopefully carving a name for himself as well.
Yeah, I watched it last night. We knew that he was going to get the last 20 minutes. My daughters went over and watched the game live. I watched it at home on the TV. He went well for his first go at it. I mean? I could tell he was nervous. But I think he more than held his own. His defence was really good. He was strong defensively. His kicking game wasn't the best, but it's all comes trial and error. I don't think they had a dominant half in both sides. There was no real dominant half to lead the sides around the park, and that's why it probably ended up a draw. But it's a trial match, That's what you're doing these sort of things, It's about seeing how the kid will go, and he went well.
Yeah.
He more than held his own defence, so I was proud of him.
Proud awesome, man. Pretty cool to see another Cleary over here in New Zealand. It's absolutely brilliant. And so when we go back to your career as a young fella, what club did you play for coming through the grades, and what did you love about the game that made you want to play every week and bash your body up, as a young fella?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I played with Manly initially. I had 1991 playing reserve grade. I played 5 minutes in first grade. I'm not too sure if you're aware of this, but Billy Moore reminded me when I first signed with Norse. I played in the 21s, I played in the reserve grade, then I played first grade all in one day at Brookvale Oval.
Wow.
And I got 5 minutes in first grade and I come on and broke Billy Moore's jaw. I don't know if you remember when Billy Moore broke his jaw. And he reminded me the first time it was my brother happened to go to uni with someone that went to uni with Billy Moore, and he said, "Hey, Josh, I got a bone to pick with you." I shit myself because I thought he was going to try and bash me or something. But we had a chat and we become really good mates, me and Billy. So I was at North in '92, played in the reserve grade grand final. We won that. Made my debut in '93 as a 20-year-old. Played in the front row. We had Mario, Fenech, Gavin Jones, Adrian Toole,
Yeah.
Tony Hearn. So I sort of managed to get me side way into that side.
Yeah.
And in 93, I played 7 first grade games. I broke my collarbone, I broke my thumb. So I was out for about 12 weeks, 14 weeks. So
Okay.
didn't really appear in the semis and that. Went back to reserve grade and we won the grand final for I think it was the third time in 4 years. So 92, 93 won and then Peter Louis went from reserve grade coach to first grade coach.
Yep.
Took over Steve Martin and
Yep.
as they say, the rest is history. But I ended up playing 111 games in North Sydney and 22 for the Northern Eagles. And the last 22 games, the first 15 of them was pretty good, but the 2002 season was horrible. No, 2001 season was horrible. It didn't sit well with me, you know.
Was that the whole because of the coaching like situation and just the merger of Northern Eagles not being a harmonious merger? Was that sort of the reason behind that?
There's multiple factors, Dave. Like it's two sides that hate each other. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
Like
So yeah.
I remember about 96 or 97. We played a Friday night game at North Sydney Oval. 23,500 people turned up to that ground, which it's got a capacity of about 20,000. You know what I mean? They're on
Yeah.
the roofs. It was like that magical game in South and St George, I think, and they're on the roofs of the SCG. You know what I mean? Like that's how much we hate each other. That's how much we wanted to beat each other. Manly, for some unknown reason, had the wood on us for that
Yeah.
many years. 97 was thought it was our year. We played against Newcastle in that semi-final where Joey Johns had come back from his punctured lung.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Joey Johns didn't play, actually. Leo Dinover played. And Joey played in the grand final after he had a punctured lung and that. And we thought that was our year because we'd beat Manly convincingly that year. And then we played against Newcastle in the semi-final. It was like history repeating itself. 91, Darryl Halligan kicks 1 goal out of 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
97, the same thing happens with Jason Taylor, leading point scorer of the year. He kicks 1 from 5. Like, they weren't hard kicks, but the pressure got to us. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing that these sort of things happen. But, like, I look at my nephew now, he's won 4 in a row. Like, it's amazing. You know what I mean? I didn't
It
even get
is.
to play in the grand final, let alone win one, but I played in 2 reserve grade grand finals. Reserve grade and first grade, totally different kettle of fish, you know? And we're seeing that now.
There was a finals match you played in against the Broncos where you got a great win. You know, how tough was it to play finals? How, what's the intensity like? And what's it like getting a victory over a team like Brisbane in a playoff match?
Oh, look, mate, finals football, it's it's a crazy world, like, because, and I mentioned it when I went back to play in the junior league or the local A grade. The temperature changes. You know, we're going from winter into a spring, summertime area. So the weather becomes warmer. The grass grows quicker, all that sort of stuff. All these sort of things go into semi-final football, which we subconsciously don't know about, but like it's happening, you know, like, and that's what we always got excited about. We love the fact of semi-final football because we're on the big stage, we're on the biggest stage you can be on, and we get to show our wares. But like it was brilliant. Like my lifestyle in football, I stayed at Narrabeen when I was playing in North Sydney because it wasn't too far from my house. It took me 30 minutes to get from my house to North Sydney Oval. I worked at the North Sydney League Clubs when I first started at North with Matty Sears and Matty Tostak and Johnny
Yeah.
McCarthy. Like, I've got the best friends out of football. It's ridiculous. I mean, we've got a Bears chat now that we still all keep in contact. We're all close mates. It's more a Bears family than a football team.
Okay.
I can't say the same thing about the Northern Eagles, even though a few of my Bears teammates went to the Northern Eagles, but it wasn't the same. It's a very different environment, and there was no real feuding, but it must have been in the background, you know.
Yeah.
My football. I am alive for football. I've lived a beautiful life, and I continue to do so. But I'm very fortunate.
Yeah,
I never argue about what I did in my football in life. I wish I would have achieved more, but these things happen. I would have loved to have played in the grand final with the Bears.
yeah.
We went agonisingly close 2 or 3 times.
You
We never
did.
got there.
You did, mate. Just on that Northern Eagles merger, how tough was it? Obviously, the two clubs don't like each other, but what's it like as a player going through a merger, finding out, like, when did you find out the two clubs were going to merge? What was the thoughts when the two, like, playing groups came together? How did the club decide which players to keep? Like, when did you realize you were going to be given a contract? All that stuff. Like, what were the early beginnings of that merger like as
Yeah,
a player?
that's a very good question, Dave. And what happened was, and David Fairley said it on a podcast not so long ago when he was talking about Newcastle and when he went to Newcastle after the Northern Eagles or the North Sydney franchise folded. We were basically put in a room and say, if your name's read out, you're going to the Northern Eagles. If your name's not read out, you've got to go find another club.
Okay.
That's as bluntly as it was.
Wow.
I had been talking to Bozo in the 98 season, Bobby Fulton, because I'd just come off a 12-week suspension. North City had fined me $90,000, and he said, I want you. I need someone like you. You're mad, you're tough, you're da-da-da. He said, Bud's getting a year older. He says, I want you to come play with us. And I knew Scotty's son really well. I knew Brett. I went, oh, yeah, right. But I couldn't do a deal. I couldn't get out of my existing contract. North backflipped and said, no, we want to keep you.
Okay.
So I stayed at North Sydney. But in regards to the Northern Eagles, as players, we're paid to do one job. That's play football. So in regards to feuding and all the rest of it, it was in the background. It wasn't on the footy field. And we try to keep it as professional as we could on the footy field. Peter Sharp's playing style didn't suit Jason Taylor. Jason Taylor was our inaugural halfback back at the Northern Eagles. So then, I mean, I don't like putting shit on anyone, but Sharpie then went out and spent $500,000 getting Brett Kamali to the club. It might have been 550. It wasn't. Brett Kamali plays his style, but the coach couldn't change the football or our playing style to suit Brett Kamali's style.
Yeah.
So it was like he was the best halfback in the game at the time. He just won a comp with Melbourne. You know what I mean? There's New South Wales. He put Andrew Johns out of a halfback spot for New South Wales and Australia. Like, so he had to play hooker. You know what I mean? Like,
amazing.
This is a bloke we just brought into our side that yet didn't work with our side because the players have got styles. Coaches have got styles. But you've got to adapt to the style of the player, not the other way around. You can't just say, I bought you play my style and we'll work around that. No. You got to play what that player's style is and build a team around him. I think Ivan does it best because he loses 2 or 3 players every year.
I know.
And he just adjusts his style. But you've also got the best player that we've seen for a very long time in my nephew playing there. And he had a very good foil in Jerome Luai for so long. I'd be really interested to see how Jerome goes this year because he surprises me all the time. They reckon he's the ultimate competitor, like unbelievable. And they train hard. They all work and train hard. So it'd be really interesting to see what happens this year. But as I said, coaches have got to adapt to their players and not try and make them play in a different way that they play. Because otherwise you're taking the benefit of buying them in the first place. And Noddy Kamali was a very flat. He changed the way halfbacks play because he was very flat. Like he realised you don't need to be 5 metres back.
Yep.
You know, look, you're on the front foot. You're on a metre away from where the dummy half faces, because otherwise you're losing those valuable seconds, and then you've got options either side. You away you go. I was lucky. Like I played with some great players.
You did.
best time I ever had. What? You think about the North Sydney side we had.
Oh, it's not bad,
You
man.
had
Awesome.
like it is the most phenomenal football side you've ever. Brett Dell's on one wing,
Yeah.
Nigel Roy on the other. Matty Sears at fullback. You've had anyone from Greg Florimo, Peter Jackson in the centres. And then you had Jason Taylor halfback or Flair 5'8", Benny Icon 5'8". Like the, the players was phenomenal. Mark
Your
Saden
forward pack
hooker,
was awesome.
Mario Fenech, yourself, Gavin Jones, David Fairley, all played front row at different stages. Gary Larson, Billy
I
Moore.
know. I
Like,
know.
then you
Just
had blokes like Willie Layson, who was a great up and comer. Jamie Fitzgerald come like at 99 from Mudgee. Paul Stringer, Mark O'Mealy. Like
I know.
it, it's a phenomenal. Like how we didn't win a comp has got me. Yeah, it's beyond words. How we did not win a comp. Yeah,
It's pretty frustrating, eh? Like when you're so close every year, and it just I think it's like that old adage, you need a little bit of luck on the day, like when it comes to those big games. Sometimes it's just one bad call, sometimes it's a slight forward pass or one drop catch that can change a whole game on its head. Like it's just you
oh
need that
mate, but
you definitely had the side.
I think yeah, like I've been reading that Ivan's book, and you make your own luck, I believe. So, and if you're practicing enough, you don't need the luck because it's there. It's a fallback option, but uh, yeah, we had a lot of bad luck. I think we did. But that's the bad, like, but, I mean, I go back further. I grew up in a street up in Eleanor where at the end of my street, Barry Glasgow lived. Barry Glasgow still holds the record for the most field goals kicked in a season of
Okay.
28, right?
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, this is back when the field goal was worth 2 points.
Okay.
So North Sydney bought him from West. He was in Kelly's kids, the other
Yep.
old Kelly's kids. And so North Sydney brought him, and it went from being a 2 point field goal to a 1 point field goal. The year he signed, so like that's North Sydney. I mean, like it's so hard to explain, but like we seem like we're on a winner, but all of a sudden it turns to shit. Uh,
It's funny.
anyway,
I guess it's like that match. Like I had Daryl Halligan on the podcast just before Christmas, and yeah, that one game he kicked 1 out of 5, cost you
yeah.
guys a grand final spot, probably the
No,
comp. And like any other day, he kicks 5 from 5.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't make any sense. I think in the 97 game when Newcastle beat us 15 to 10, I think Matty Johns may have kicked the field goal.
Okay.
And Alan Craigie scores an intercept try at the end to make it 15, not 11-10, with no time left, because we're
Yeah.
thinking out to the right. And I don't know, Mick Butner tried to kick it or whatever, but I vaguely remember that. I'm trying to get these memories out of my mind because they still hurt
Oh
me.
yeah.
I mean, but it's one of those things. But look, at the end of the day, if something can come from it, we're all very very close mates. We all look after each other. We've always had each other's backs.
Yeah.
One of our mates now is doing a bit tough. Mario, he's
Yeah.
got a bit of CT or early onset dementia, whatever you want to call it. But he's struggling a bit. What a warrior he was, man. Like I learned so much from him in such a short space of time. Mark Graham, when I got to North Sydney, he was a coach with various grades at various times. He coached the reserve grade one year when I was there. But and more importantly, Mark Graham was a mate of mine because when I was working at North Sydney Leafs Club, he had a pest spraying business. He used to come
Okay.
and spray North Sydney Leafs as one of his clients, and I learned so much from him. He's just a big, strong, beautiful man. Like he's a real character. Couldn't believe how much he smoked those durries, those Winnie Reds, but and to be able to do what he did on the football field as a smoker, I was very fortunate to play with and around Ian Roberts at Manly.
Yeah.
Another amazing. I reckon he's the toughest bloke in rugby league.
Oh,
Uh,
without a doubt.
for him to come out and do what he did, he's the only one that's ever done it.
Yep.
To openly admit that he's gay, We were very fortunate to go on a trip, the Vodafone Corporate Challenge in 2001. I was still playing footy. There's Cliffy Lyons, myself, and Ian Roberts made up the NRL side. Yeah, like he's just an amazing man. Like he he's yeah. The way for him to do what he did is the toughest thing I've ever
Yeah,
seen. You know,
yeah. It's
just an
just yeah.
amazing human being.
Yeah, especially in an era where you just didn't talk about stuff like that. Like we didn't have all
Yeah,
the support networks we
as I
have now.
said, man,
It's
like,
so different.
my footballing life has been amazing. I loved every minute. I still love it now because now I'm not Josh Stewart, the footballer, no more. I'm just Ivan Cleary's uncle. You know what
Right.
I mean? So people forget about Josh Stewart, how he played football and the rest of it. So I'm just Ivan Cleary's uncle. So I still get invitations here, there, and everywhere. So I'm happy with it. Don't worry about that.
Right, isn't it?
But
It's a good gig.
looking back at my career, like I achieved a bit, but I, the life I've had from it is unbelievable. You know, like
Yeah,
I could never wish for a better life. You know.
yeah, man. And it goes all the way back. I believe you were Australian schoolboy rep in the 1990 and 1991. So what was it like to pull on a national rep jersey as a young fella? How did you enjoy that experience?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So 1990 was probably a breakout year for me. I played upper grade with the Jersey Flag. So Jersey Flag used to be under 19s, and I
Right.
made the Manly side as a 17-year-old. I'm a December baby, so I'm end of the year. So it's like I was playing a year or two up. So that year I made New South Wales schoolboys, City under 19s, State under 19s, and Australian schoolboys.
Right.
So whenever I do a speech, they say, "Oh, you made 2 years Australian schoolboys." I said, "Yeah, year 12 was the best 4 years of my life." But I'm only ever joking because I was a young kid. You know, I mean, like, but it just adds a bit of humour to it. But then 1991, I managed to do the same, but I didn't do the under 19s rugby because I was already playing grade at Manly. I was playing 21s in reserve grade and a bit of, like, as I said, 5 minutes in first grade. I didn't get a run on, but I did play the 5 minutes. But it means nothing. It was only a trial.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't have a
fair enough.
playing number at Manly.
Okay. So what were you like as a trainer as a young fella? Did you was first grade the goal? Was it always the thing you wanted to do, or did you have a job, or was it, did you get up and train before going to work, or what was the whole scenario
So
for you?
yeah. So like at school, when I went to St. Augustine's for 4.5 years before I got kicked out, at school they used to say, what are you going to do when you grow up? And
Yeah.
it's one of those questions that I don't know why, but it's like a goal sort of thing. But I always said, yeah, I'm going to be a copper and play first grade football.
Okay.
And he was going, what? How do you know that? Is there any backup plans? No, I'll be a copper and I'll play first. One of the things coming through was I played first grade football, but never become a copper. But
Okay.
back in the day, Paul Sirenen, Jughead Jones, Johnny Jones,
Yeah.
Mal Cochran, all these blokes were footballers, but they were coppers as well. Pat Jarvis. There's hundreds of them just because it allowed them to play football and have a job. Like,
Yeah.
and policemen, what sort of job's that? They're big men. They walk around with a gun and set of handcuffs on you. And who's going to muck around with a footballer anyway? You know what I mean? So that was my goal, and so I achieved half of that goal. I played first grade football. I've never looked back. As I said, I really enjoy my life now. I'm married. I've got 5 kids. I live at Maynardvale. I can never complain about anything I've done.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. So, what do you remember about like your run-on debut? Making that first grade debut. Were you nervous, or were you just out ready to get it done? Like get out there and smash blows. Like,
Yeah,
what's it like? To run on to first grade when you
yeah,
realise what you're up against. They're pretty
yeah.
seasoned blokes out there.
It's amazing. And I see Jet do it last night in the trial. I felt about the time that I did it. So it was against. So when I was playing, as you mentioned before, multiple different periods of two super subs. They had to play reserve grade. Half became reserve grade. Then it went to 4. It went unlimited interchange. It went restricted interchange. It went. But there's that many rules changed while I was playing, and it made me fluctuate my weight. So when I started playing first grade, I was a front rower playing 92 kilo. That's what I weighed. Right. By the time I finished my career, I was 108 kilo.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had to change my weight to adapt to what the team needed me to be.
Right.
I ended up becoming a battering ram. I went from being a hooker to being a battering ram.
Okay.
And I was always a fearful defender. So they tell me. And initially it was from using my shoulders. In the end, it was from using my arms, swinging arms. It wasn't something I was proud of, but it happened. As because putting on that sort of weight, you lose your speed.
Yeah.
So instead of getting to a tackle on time, you're fraction slower and hitting a bloke around the chops as opposed to hitting him around the chest. You know what I mean? So I regret that part of my career because I was a great defender. Ian Roberts had a chat to me one day. He said, George, he said, I really like the way you tackle. He said, you want to do some extra sessions with me? And at the time, he hadn't come out about being gay and it was all these rumours. I said, oh, yeah, righto. And I tried away from it. I didn't do nothing. But only because we didn't know. And extra sessions, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Anyway, but I love this bloke, as I mentioned. So the rules changed and they made me have to change with it. Like now you look at the footballers, now they're all athletes. You know, they're 6'4", 6'6". They're streamlined, they're big, they're strong, their diets are unbelievable. Like the game's got so much faster.
Yeah.
It's a great product. You know, I mean, it's a really, really good product to watch. I enjoy watching, that's for sure. But that's probably the only downside we made because they changed the rules so many times.
Yeah. So what do you find like between the two eras, your era and the modern era? Like, yes, the game's fast now, but it takes away from having these great 80-minute forwards like we had back in the day that could go the distance. Like, what era do you prefer? I kind of think there was more special tries back in the old days, like lots of length of the field tries, and like your Brett Mullins and your Brett Dallases and Matt Sayers, all these real speedy guys who could just do amazing things. You don't really see that anymore because everyone's so fit. All the forwards only play 40 minutes. So what's your take on all that?
Yeah, that's a look. Matty Sears, Brett Dallas, they'd survive any era. You know? Why? Because they got speed.
They got speed to boot.
You can't coach speed. You know what I mean? Like you either got it, or you haven't got it. I had fast leg speed for 40 metres, which allowed me to play what I did. But when we talk about eras, Jesus, I wouldn't have survived 5 minutes in this era. Not because we were playing the way we play, but just the social media and the shit outside of it. Because I used to love having a beer and playing up. I'm just glad the cameras didn't come in until towards the end of my career. Because everyone's walking around with a camera these days. You know, like you didn't do that today. But every phone's a camera. And I would have gotten too much trouble. I know that for a fact. I'm glad we played when we played. Yes, the money wasn't the same as what they're getting now, and they're all superstars now. We used to talk about and have joke around about a bloke will come into the training with a fresh haircut, right? And they say, "Oh, it's a TV game, is it?" Because he's had the haircut. I mean, like you also got to remember, not every one of our games was televised in the early days. From 90, I think 96, 97, they started televising every game. But before that, but what's also happened now is there's also so much betting in the game. You know, like every club sponsored by a betting agency.
Okay.
And the man he's worked out that there's money in betting, and why not? That's why he wants all these live games. Like, so in regards to eras, I'm glad we played when we did. And we're probably all still close mates because of that. The money's not what they're getting now, but nor is the property prices. You know, so there's whatever they're getting now, it's the same to buy a property as what it was with us. Yeah, you're still going to have to fork out a bit of money to buy a property. a lot more than
Yeah.
what we had to. I bought my first unit when I was 20-year-old. I paid 150,000. That was at Coleroy. It's probably worth $1 million now. Like
Yeah.
$1 million
It's
for a
all relative.
two-bedroom unit. Like, please, hello.
I
So
know.
I think we're very fortunate to play when we played. The game's just going ahead with leaps and bounds. I'm really proud of, or happy for what the Landies and Abdal are doing,
Yeah.
because they've also made the game safer. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
uh, I've got a charity set up with Colin Scott, the ex-NFL player, Shane Lee, the ex-cricketer, called Brain for Life, and
Okay.
there's two other members in that, which are executives there. And what it's about is supplying help for people that are suffering from early conditions of CTE. You can't get
Yeah.
diagnosed with CTE until you pass away. That may change within the next 5 years, but you
Okay.
can get tests and you can work out that if you've got issues, we can work on it and we can do things for you. So I've had meetings with Dave Trodden, the New South Wales Rugby League, so they're going to support us and back us and watch this space, I suppose, because we will. People don't know you can do something for your brain. Like I got questioned off Ivan said, "Do you really want to know?"
Yeah.
I had to really think about that because you can only add stress to you, couldn't it? If you find out that you've
Yeah.
got some issues. But when I found out you can do something about it, that stress went away. So my things in my brain, and look, I've got minor issues. A lot of people will say, no, I've got a lot more issues than that. It's just the way I live life, but I don't care. And my issues are the eye movement, balance. I have to do things to a metronome, which means a beat. And
Yep.
if I do all those sort of things, a lot of it's playing games. If I do those sort of things, my brain will be fine. You know?
Okay.
Is it hard work to get all those sort of things done? Yeah, of course it is, because I love living life. But what the basic message on any of the brain injuries is use it or lose it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that have, and I can bore you to tears if you really want me to today, but historically in the world, there's more women with dementia than men. They didn't play football.
Interesting. Very strange. That's an interesting
But,
stat.
but think about it, right? Historically, remember the word historically. What was a
Yeah.
woman's job many, many years ago?
Not going to work, that's for sure.
Looking after the husband. Yeah, cook
Yeah.
the meals, get the kids to school, do the washing, do the shopping, da da da. They're not
Yeah.
testing
That's
their
it.
brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just a quick lesson. I'm not going to harp on it because the charity will speak for itself when we get it up and running, which is shortly. But it's funny when you put that comparison down, and you go, "Wow, you weren't aware of that."
No, no,
Huh?
I didn't know that at all. That's crazy.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
But
like, so use your brain and lose it. So, and this is where I feel for Mario Fenech, because when Mario finished playing football, and yes, they said that he got picked on doing the footy show, mate, but that's all he was doing. He was also working for the NRL, mundane tasks, not using his brain. You know,
okay.
so these are the sort of people I want to help. I want to help him. I want to help Royce Simmons. I want to help anyone.
Yeah.
Stevie Mortimer. You know, these people have been institutionalized, but it's like with my mother. My mother's moved into a retirement village, and you start hanging around old people, you start acting up. You know,
Okay.
about
Yeah.
having a purpose in life, get out of bed and do something. So my mother's got 20 grandkids,
Wow.
and from being a single Ukrainian child, to the parents, Ukrainian parents, she's gone from being a single child to having 6 kids and 20 grandkids. Well, go and see them, do something, keep active. You know, so,
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. All
uh,
right. All right. Oh well, it's awesome that you're getting behind this and getting this charity going. So I just wish you all the best with that. You know, it's really important that we look after our people in the game and just people in general. You know that struggle with dementia and things like that. You know, just
100%, mate. It's
help.
a horrible thing, you know.
Yeah.
Terrible thing. So that's what our aim is, and that's what we'll do. And we've got the right people behind me. You know, we'll make a difference. You know, and that's the main thing. And that's something I can be passionate about. You know, it's not work. Yes, I'll be probably doing some talks and seminars on it with the doctors that helped me. So it is what it is, but we've got the right people involved. So.
That's brilliant, man. Brilliant, brilliant. So during that 1996-97 Super League era,
Oh
what were
yeah.
your experiences through that and the challenges that came with the Super League war and splitting the comps down the middle? That was all a bit of a crazy time.
Oh mate, I was again. I was going to say I'm very very fortunate. I got paid bugger all as a loyalty fee, but it's never been about money for me. I've always just thought it was a fantastic opportunity to stay fit, play football with my mates, and enjoy life. And what a life we had. But the Super League thing, I really didn't get involved. I wasn't a high profile player per se. I played maybe 40 games when it all happened, 40 or 50 games, and
Okay.
I was on like a second tier. Searsy, Matty Sears, and Craig Field. They told me what sort of money they got, and I was blown away by that. It was a one-off payment. Um, Look, it had to happen. The
Yep.
Super League. He was ahead of his time. Mr. Murdoch, he was ahead of his time, and now look at the game now. If it didn't happen, where would it be? So I've got no issues with it happening, and I've got no issues with me staying at the NRL either, or the ARL when it was. Um, so I don't live in the past. I live in the future, and I prefer to what happened happened,
Yep.
and it had to happen. So I'm okay with it all. I didn't make shitloads of money, but to say that my paycheck doubled overnight.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I went from 90,000 a year to 170,000. I mean, like, what could you complain about as a
It's a great pay
23-year-old
rise.
kid? I mean, yeah, I mean, like, you
Yeah.
can't complain about that sort of stuff. So, no
Yeah.
need. No one listens anyway.
And you're doing something you enjoy. Like you're still playing footy. That's great. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, no, as I said, I'm very fortunate. Had a very fortunate life.
Awesome, man. Well, when you look back at your career, what are a couple of those pinnacle moments that stand out for you? When you look back.
So the critical moments that stand out, getting picked in the city side in 97, uh,
Yes.
go back earlier playing Australian schoolboys 2 years in a row. The first year, mate, first year I went up to the carnivals up at Port Macquarie, playing for New South Wales Combined Catholic Colleges. I had blokes like Rodney Howe, Tim Horan, all these great players playing in our footy side. We went for one defeated up there at Port Macquarie. So the majority of the side got picked. We played a
Yep.
one-off match against an Australian youth side at Parramatta Stadium back in the day in 1990. But I also made all those rep sides, the city side, the state side, as a 17-year-old kid in the under 19s. Those sort of things were pinnacle moments in my career.
Yep.
And had I emulated them in first grade, I would have loved to have. But I just, look, you mentioned something earlier about setting goals and all sorts of stuff. And I set my goals early in life as I said, to play first grade and to become a copper, which I achieved one of those goals. But I realised I didn't set many goals after that,
Okay.
which looking back and hindsight's a wonderful thing. It's probably something I should have done. And I remember Adam Muir, who come and joined North in, I think he was regarded as the best player in 1997. He joined us in 1998 and he got some injuries and done something to his ankle early on. Didn't reach the height that he did when he was playing with Newcastle. But he stayed with 99 and then he went to South in, I think, 2000. But
That's right.
for someone like him, he sort of taught a lesson to me because was still writing goals. I said, mate, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm just setting some goals. I said, what? I said, that's something you do when you're a kid. But it's a mindset. It's writing something down and looking at it and then
Yep.
setting about achieving it. And I think he's still out playing State of Origin in about 2001 or something. I thought he was, watch that. But I mean, hats off to him and kudos to him because I didn't know. like you're taught to dream as a kid.
Yeah.
You're not when you're an adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's mind-setting stuff. Setting goals is a big thing, you know. It's even now with me doing in business, like I got my mortgage broker now. It's about setting goals of how much do I want to earn this year? How much do I want to settle this year? So time will tell, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good life advice there. Everyone take notes. Set those goals. That's good. Yeah, mate. Right, I want to finish off with just a couple of quick questions I ask everybody. So, what club do you support in the NRL these days?
Uh, family, Penrith.
Oh, good call. Good
Yeah,
call.
so like that's like people ask me, you mainly support a name. I don't support my nephew. I said it's always family. So, but funnily enough, I even went and coached the Tigers in 2016. Nathan had just made his debut. So I was in between a rock and a hard place because I go to the Tigers ground and like I love blokes like Stuart and Benny Elias and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you played against each other, you so become mates and all sorts of stuff. Um, so I used to enjoy going out there when he was at the Tigers and sitting in that old stand. But yeah, anywhere my family plays. My nephew's now playing with the Warriors. So one of the cross between those two. So see what happens. But that's who I support. Fenech.
Brilliant, man. Okay, so a couple of non-league related questions. What TV show are you currently watching, or is there a favourite you've watched in the past? What does Josh Stewart like to watch?
Mate, I love comedy, but I've seen some of that Jim Jeffries, and he's a North Sydney supporter. So
Yeah,
I
I
like
love
watching that sort of stuff, but I don't have too much time to focus on watching on my missus. She'll lay in bed with an iPad and watch series after series after series. What are you watching, like? What's so important, like? You know what I mean? I don't get into watching series and sort of stuff. I love a beer and I love having a bet. So I'd rather put the Sky Racing on or something, have a couple of bets and a couple of
Brilliant.
photos here and there. But no, I can't miss watching the footy. I mean, I turned the footy on last night to watch Jet make his debut. And yeah, so anything to do with sport I'm into. I don't mind watching the golf because I'm a hacker, but
Yeah.
I'm a member up here at Maribor. I sponsor a hole up there, but I love me golf, you know. I'm not that great. I play off 18, but it is what it
That's
is.
all right. That's
I
some all right
enjoy it.
golfing then.
I
Yeah.
really do enjoy it. No, so
Yeah, nice, man. All right, last question. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
meal.
Yep.
You say meal? Yeah. I'm a big fan of seafood.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of seafood. Me, I'm like when we go to Fiji, we love a mud crab, you know, so
Yep.
chili mud crab. But
Nice.
I don't think I could eat that for the rest of my life because I think the bowels would start crying out for help. But uh, look, my old man was a butcher, so I'd have to say a steak and salad or something like that.
Beautiful, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thanks very much for coming on the podcast, man. So cool to meet you, and just fantastic to hear some of the old stories and memories of the great era that you played in. The Winfield Cup days, and the dawn of the NRL. Such a good time for rugby league, and yeah, just thanks heaps for coming on, mate.
I appreciate being asked to come on, Dave. I hope you could hear me and the audio comes across okay. If it doesn't, just let me know. We can do it again. I won't come down the pub. I'll be somewhere else because I did one with the bloke from Parramatta, and I was down watching my son play footy, and it was all done by phone call. And I tried to listen to the audio after it, and because the wind was blowing, you couldn't hear anything. So I'm hoping it turns out all right. If it doesn't, just let me know and we can do something again. All right.
No worries, mate. All good. Well, thanks everyone out there for watching and listening. I've been your host, Dave. This has been the one and only Josh Stewart. We've been back in the day, and we'll see you next time for kickoff.
No worries. Thanks for your time, Dave.
Full time.